interpreters, and so today we're going to be looking at some attack surface reduction. This is TryHackMe Advent of Cyber, day 22. So almost finished. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm excited about this one because this is going to test my blue team skills that I've acquired throughout the years. So let's go ahead and remove my webcam as usual, okay? And let's get started. All right, so Bandit Yeti has identified an open SSH port on Santa's web server. Now so here's what we have here. Unnecessary ports are closed to avoid attack attempts. Open SSH, okay, document file with malicious macros. That's good, so we need to do that. Let's see. Sensitive data related to servers found on file sharing, spoof, phishing email sent to Santa's employee, brute password, brute forcing, Santa's employee find USB drive in the parking lot. Nice. All right, so the first one I think is going to be easy. So we want to, number one, we need to close any unnecessary ports. And honestly, this is really good advice because these simple things make a big difference, and most people don't really even take the time to do it because it does take time. Document a file with the malicious macros. Okay, so let's see. Phishing protections anti-locker is used network to block execution of unknown. I think that's going to be there. Some app blocker is what I'm probably going to lean towards. But once again, I tell you all the time when I'm doing these, if I'm not sure 100%, I'll go to one that I am 100%, and we can always circle back. Some sensitive data related to Santa's service found on the file sharing website. Okay, so sensitive data from file sharing websites removed to avoid. Okay, so there we go. That's a one-to-one right there. Spoofing email sent to Santa's employees. Phishing email protection. Okay, I think that's okay. And the second one right there, there's the macros right there. That's a pretty easy one right there. So now we know we're on par here. Phishing emails. We're going to implement phishing protection. And then password brute force attack is attempted on Santa's account. If you want to do that, strong password policy enabled to thwart brute force. But also you need to have account lockouts too. So I think that I definitely wanted to do that. But then this one, let's talk a little bit about this one. So app blocker is deployed network-wide to block the execution of known whitelisted applications. So for this one, you can also, like with your endpoint protection and response, a lot of them already have the ability to block USB ports. And I strongly recommend that you do lock out USB ports on your devices unless absolutely necessary. There's so many ways to get things to a device. You don't really need USB drives anymore. So that's something that can easily be done to protect yourself. Let's see, strong password policy. That's a no-brainer. But once again, you do have to have the limited. They already talked about that. So I think they were comprehensive on the strong password policy. Phishing, of course, you can have phishing protection, but you want to talk about security awareness training, right? You want to make sure you're training your users. And when you do phishing, like you do simulated phishing attacks against your company, this is something I do a lot. And one of the things is I try to push as hard as possible to make, I want to get as many employees to click on a phishing link as possible. The reason why is because why would you give your employees an easy test that they can pass when the bad actors are going to really make their stuff convincing? So when you do a phishing email campaign inside your company, make sure you do it in a way that you're going to try to get as many people to click as possible, because if they click one time, they'll learn the lesson, and then the next time it's very likely they'll be more savvy. So make sure you test real hard. File sharing, you should basically have policies that are restricted only to certain sites. So if you're a Gmail customer, you should be using Google Drive. I would try to eliminate using a Dropbox or anything like that. If you're Office 365, then use OneDrive. But I would go ahead and block those other file sharing services, except when you have circumstances where you have a customer who needs to use another service because maybe they're limited. Then you can you can maybe whitelist that particular customers because they may be like customerxyz.dropbox.com. So those are the kind of things. And if they don't have that set up, maybe you can get them to go ahead and purchase the Dropbox service and get a domain or something like that you can whitelist. Security policy implemented to block macros. That should be a no-brainer, but that's also going to be part of your endpoint detection. So if you do have the macros execute, a lot of times it's going to run PowerShell, pull down a file, or living off the land. Maybe it's going to try to reach out and do the Microsoft Assist thing or something like that. But your endpoint detection and response is going to be one that comes in and helps you there. And then unnecessary ports are closed. This is part of just basic firewall administration. You lock everything out, and then you start whitelisting. A lot of times you can't do this if it's a big company, but you really want to start like identifying and slowly but surely like blocking more and more things. But really, the best way to do firewalling is you block everything if you have the option to do this, and then you only allow out what's absolutely necessary. 443, 53, like 465, 587. Those are like Gmail and stuff like that. 80. I forgot to mention 80. You know, you gotta have like maybe your SMTP and stuff like that, but it's not that hard to start. And I recommend that if you're working to get into cybersecurity, start doing this at home. Okay. So anyway, this is Kendrick once again with Technology Interpreters. I am a cybersecurity engineer, and I've been in cybersecurity probably for about 20 plus years. They wouldn't even call it cybersecurity when I probably started doing this. But anyway, reporting you live from my parents' house for the Christmas holidays. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next day's video.